Bear with us just a moment, we've got a little bit of drama going on here. Welcome back, anyone who's joining us in a now very beautifully sunny Manchester, where we are still welcoming in the thousands of delegates to the British Insurance Brokers Annual Conference. It is the biggest conference for insurance brokers in Europe, and these are people who are responsible for underwriting and insuring fossil fuel projects, which then enables them to get funding and loans from banks and ensures that they can continue. We've been out here since about 8 a.m. and seen thousands of delegates going in, and now the last few seem to be wandering in. Our rebels with Extinction Rebellion, alongside Friends of the Earth, Manchester Greenpeace and a few other local activists, have been leafleting and speaking to these delegates, letting them know that they have a choice to make here. They have an opportunity to make the world a better place, but they have to act on that. Every single one of them has an option to say no to working on projects which enable or continue fossil fuel production and burning. And hopefully quite soon we're going to hear a little bit more from some of our speakers, including some powerful but somewhat upsetting witness statements from the direct result of the work being done here today. We also have images which show exactly what that result looks like. How is the... That's a great question. Are you happy to be on a little video and I can ask you how your experience has been this morning? Because it sounds like it's been interesting.
Well, I mean, some people are saying yes and thank you and taking it with interest, but some people have been saying they can't be seen to take a leaflet because it's political and their employers wouldn't allow it, which for a start, I mean, I don't believe, but
yeah. But also it's expressly...
So I've had a discussion about what political means. You know, lots of people very friendly, but some people are so adamantly won't take one.
It's a shame. You've got to ask exactly why that is, what it is within them that drives them to keep doing this. Still, it's positive that we've had some good responses coming out of it.
Definitely.
I'm glad. Yeah, especially after the thousands of people it seemed like going in today. It's been
What?
just the number of people.
Going in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a huge
It didn't come
conference.
last year, did it?
I really,
It's a big deal, isn't it?
it is a big deal. Yeah. Oh, well, hopefully we're going to hear some of the speakers soon, so I'm going to go and have a chat to them. Good luck with the rest of it.
Oh, excellent.
You can hear between the music, the noise of the trams and the building works. We've got a little bit of karaoke going on in our flooded Lamborghini, which is exactly the way the decadence of many of these businesses is going to go. And I think that the choice of decoration outside this conference today is a perfect example of how apt an image that is at this time. So we've got a very helpful little steward here. Do you have anything to say? Do you have anything to say? No. Hard at work. While we've been setting up and using our little half-drowned karaoke booth over here, we've also been watching the delegate centre and certainly been getting a lot of interested looks. So there's certainly some attention. How they feel towards us is hard to say, but it's certainly sparking conversation. While it's relatively quiet, would either of you like to share why you're here today and why you think this is important?
I'll say a bit. I'm sure you've got plenty to say.
Or we go to do it together?
Yeah, I think that would be lovely. Yeah, so where have the two of you come from and why? Why does this matter?
Well, I've come up from Shrewsbury.
Beautiful.
I came from London.
Came on the train, if anyone's interested. I didn't drive. I'm here. We've got a major conference of insurance brokers in the UK. And whilst many of them might not be investing directly in fossil fuel projects, a lot of them are probably paying the prices through raised dividends of climate change. So health insurance, house insurance, professional indemnities, all these insurances are affected by climate change. At the other end of the spectrum of the industry they work in, you've got underwriters facilitating major fossil fuel projects across the world in unsustainable energy resources, tar sands, gas, oil, all of which are contributing to climate change, which are in return damaging the interests of the insurers that support you and I and make our lives better.
Absolutely.
I was involved in a protest at a broker called WTW last year.
Okay.
A few employees from WTW were involved in a study predicting a high probability of food riots in the UK in the next 10 years, caused by, primarily, increased temperatures, extreme weather. WTW also, of course, enabling fossil fuel projects all around the world. It's a huge company. We know that these are different branches, different departments within the same company, and they're just not talking to each other. They're just making too much money to really think too hard about all this stuff. So yeah, that's why we're here, is to just really try and keep the issue at the top of the agenda, make sure that they're talking to each other about this in there.
And action does make a difference. I mean, you were involved in the Zurich action, weren't you, a couple of years ago, that stimulated a change in their statement as to what they would invest in.
Okay.
I think that their own employees haven't realised quite how deeply embedded they were in major industry, and they took the issue on with management, and they've changed the way they do things.
Yeah, that's so hopeful.
Actions like this are important to stimulate the conversation, to remind people, because complacency, paying the bills, people forget that we have responsibilities, not just to ourselves but to everyone around us.
Absolutely. If you had the opportunity to say one thing to the delegates that they were going to listen to today, what would that be? What would your ask of them be?
We're building a network of insurers that are working for positive change, working towards an end to fossil fuels in the insurance sector. So we need to join that. There's a link to it on the Extinction Rebellion page. You can go through to the Insure Survival campaign. There's a particular link, mailing list for insurers. So we already have like 30 or 40 insurers that have joined. Many have followed up beyond that, like come up with ideas, talked about their companies. So yeah. The more we can get insurers talking to each other and like looking for creative ways to bring this topic up at work, the faster this will happen. I mean, there's already such huge changes going on in the industry. The more, it's every insurer can contribute.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you.
And the insurance industry knows there are lots of publications from within the industry that highlights the risks. People in lower level insurance companies insuring our livelihoods, our homes, need to have that conversation and need to shout at their executives, because executives talk to executives. That message has to go up the chain to the people doing the damage.
Yeah. Beautifully put. Thank you guys.
Thanks a lot.
All right, enjoy. And I think the rest of our performances are gearing up to happen. Our steward has moved into a comfortable little spot in the car. And still almost 3 hours after we got here and after delegates started arriving, we are seeing a few still filtering in. Reminder that this is the biggest conference in Europe of this type for insurance brokers. So there is a lot of influence and a lot of money behind this event today. And for anyone on social media, the conference is using the hashtag Bieber 2025, which you can actually see just up there. So it moves. And we would love to remind them online as well as in person the influence and responsibility that they have. So if you are on any social media and want to share the conversation, then using that hashtag would be brilliant. And we have some of our CEOs here. Demonstrating exactly how much they care about their money versus the environment. We're still getting some interested looks from the delegates as well, so we're certainly sparking some conversation. And a good few little dogs have come to support us as well, which is lovely. You can see some more of our banners up here.
See the street theatre as scheduled.
I apologise again for the sound of the trams in the background. I hope you can hear okay, but we're certainly in a busy and very central part of Manchester. So hopefully we've got some passers-by taking leaflets as well, which would be great to raise awareness of exactly what is happening here. And some of the delegates are doing some of our social media work for us, which is always useful. Appreciate that. We've got representation from a great variety of different groups here as well. We've got XR, of course, but we've also got a Greenpeace t-shirt. We've got Friends of the Earth here. This is a crucial event. It's hard to disagree with what's happening.
The fossil fuels forever till we die, and then we'll be born again, we'll rise again, because we're zombie insurers insuring fossil fuels. We're zombie insurers.
I think some interested looks from our delegates as well. I will show you a little bit more of our bannering and also of the talk messaging, which welcomed many of the delegates all the way up from Central Library, which is on the way from the station today. A reminder of all of the areas, both in our country and abroad, that are directly suffering from the actions that they are taking. And hopefully we're going to have some more speeches soon, some very difficult to listen to at points, but important talks and witness statements of exactly what is already in process, already happening due to the projects that these companies are insuring and enabling.
Hello everybody. We're here, there's been some crimes committed by insurance companies. So we're about to commence court here today and we need a jury to vote. We need a jury over here from all walks of life to make a decision on this trial. Could we have some jury around here, if you're not busy, to vote please and say guilty or not guilty? So if you could gather around.
So it's the LNG one. It is the LNG one.
Sorry.
Yeah.
LNG, yeah?
Yes, that's on my phone
Ringing as well. I don't know.
Can you read through all that? Just about. Well done. I've decided I'll have to look at my notes for the numbers.
Yeah.
I will have to step up.
Yes, maybe you step up. Yes, maybe.
She said to get me. I'll ask her as well as Sophie.
So that when you say prosecution remain out of seat.
Yeah.
Why? Or is it just... No, I suppose juries are supposedly unbiased.
Is it not?
We'll just boo and hiss appropriately.
We share the mind, yeah? Sorry, we're in your way.
No, you're fine.
The judge that you, after you've spoken the things, is to add over this so I don't like.
That's better.
Some help, are you good? You're good. Thank you.
Come away from the our zombie insurers and take a space on the other side of our courtroom.
And then I'd be then you doing the
Right, are we all set?
Wait, we are getting insurance. We insure fossil fuels. Then the end will be nice, and the undead will rise and rule the world. We insure fossil fuels, so the end will come soon. Yes, we don't want you to insure anything green, apart from zombies. It's the undead insurance. Floods, fire, all good, all good. Forests burning down, yes, we'll insure those fossil fuels. Yes, we will, because then the end will come, the end will come if we insure fossil fuels. There's zombies, oh, we will rise, we will rise. With zombie insurance, insuring fossil fuels. Yes. Oh, yeah. It's so good. The end is nigh. Yes, we will rise. We will rise.
Brilliant, thank you all.
Order in court. Mr. Lane, in the case of the low-income and indigenous communities of South Texas and Louisiana against Marsh, you are charged with the following offences. In the first case, knowingly exacerbating climate change by brokering insurance for companies constructing new fossil fuel projects, in this case, the LNG export ports of the US Gulf Coast. In the second case, abandoning vulnerable communities most at risk from climate change by withdrawing insurance of people's homes and their businesses, whilst continuing to insure the fossil fuel projects that are causing climate change. In the third charge, environmental racism by endangering the lives, health, jobs and way of life of Indigenous, Black, Brown and economically disadvantaged communities close to the sites of LNG export ports, both existing ports such as Freeport LNG and proposed sites such as Rio Grande. In relation to these offences, how do you plead?
Not guilty, Your Honour.
Very well. Counsel for the prosecution, you may proceed.
The climate impacts of the currently operating methane.
I don't think it's on.
Well, the shower hold it closer to your mouth.
The climate impacts Hi. The climate impacts of the currently operating methane export terminals and those under construction would emit annually emissions equivalent to releasing 1.287 million metric tons of greenhouse gases into the air. Mr. Lay, can you explain to the court in what way this will help to keep average global temperature rise below 1.5 degrees?
Well, I don't know about that, but I do know the UK imports a lot of this liquid natural gas from the US and plans to use it to make blue hydrogen, which it's claimed is green energy and would help the UK meet its net zero goal.
Exactly, Mr. Lay. Claiming. Is it not the case that UK government policies supporting blue hydrogen and gas-powered CCS significantly underestimate upstream LNG gas emissions and actually risk derailing UK net zero targets? Mr. Lay, can you please tell this court what happened to the LNG terminal at Freeport, Texas in 2022?
It blew up.
Can you speak up a bit, Mr. Lay? I didn't catch that.
It blew up.
Yes, Mr. Lay, it blew up. And wasn't it the fact that many local people were injured from the blast, including a toddler, and 1.6 million cubic feet of natural gas was burned during the fire, releasing tons of toxic pollution into the air, causing health problems for local communities? Communities living within a 3 miles radius of these LNG terminals are already exposed to high levels of particulate matter air pollution, which travel deep within the lungs and enter the bloodstream, having a high potential for severe and lasting negative health impacts, such as asthma, heart disease, lung inflammation, and premature death. If built, Texas LNG, Rio Grande LNG, and the proposed Rio Bravo pipeline would pollute the waterways where the low-income Latino community rely on fishing for shrimp to feed their families. It will also destroy a sacred ancestral site and burial ground of the Carrizo Concrudo tribe at Garcia Pasture.
Mr. Lay, you may now say a few words in your defence. Information about shareholder profits or economic growth cannot be entered as evidence for the defence. They can only be referred to by defendants briefly as the political and philosophical beliefs that motivated them, which the jury are not to take into account during their deliberations.
But Your Honour, capitalism relies on endless extractions in order to make huge profits for the rich people so they can become...
Contempt of court! This will add a further 2 years to any sentence I may give. It is now time for the jury to ask them for their verdict. Of the charges you have heard today, do you find Marsh Insurance guilty or not guilty?
Guilty!
Mr. Lay, in sentencing you today, I have decided that rather than waste more taxpayers' money with a custodial sentence, I sentence you to 4 years of community service. You will be working with a charity in a country already experiencing the worst climate change. Take him down.
That's too soft sentencing. Off with his head. Well, because it works better. Yeah. So
I'm not sure what we're setting up for next.
I'll film with both. This one's got sound.
Perfect, thank you. While our zombies wait in the wings and our judges take a tea break, I will give some time for setting up, and hopefully you can come back and join us in a little bit.